So, in this update, it's not just the skill tree that's been updated. No, there's a load of other things that have changed. So, firstly, the Ducky Revenge event has now ended, so if you try and approach the event door, as seen here, it will not open. However, you can still get the Battle Pass items, because, as we've established in many previous videos, you can get event rewards for a long period of time, in this case 2 weeks after the event has ended. Now, some people have purposely seen this as developers adding a scholar skill right after an event end. I would like to point out is the worst skill in Tower Defense Simulator. I don't know why you would buy that. It's pretty much a scam compared to all the other skills. However, you can still glitch through the event door through the comeback emote. I don't know why, because Next Year was the person who taught me this, so developers are well aware of the fact that the comeback emote does glitch through doors, so you can still enter it. And you can still teleport through here. Yes, now I'm not entirely sure how this works, because I do believe the area here doesn't load in until you enter through the portal to probably save on resources, therefore meaning that probably entering here lags out the game just ever so slightly. However, everything here, yeah, it still is as intended, at least back in the Duck Revenge events. So you can see the Biologist Tower, the Biologist Bundle, and the Grim Skin. Does that mean you can beat Duck Revenge? No. The reason why is because if you try and attempt to start a game, here it says mode is disabled if you start easy mode, and if you try hard mode it says the event is not active yet. I don't know why there are 2 error messages in Tower Defense Simulator for basically what is the same event. So this is just a fun little Easter egg the developers have kept around. I'm not entirely sure if the developers remove it, since it doesn't really affect anything, but some people probably would try and hack this and try and start the event. Obviously, I don't recommend that, given the fact that the developers can track your games. So they can very easily see who started a match of Duck Revenge, and, you know, they can ban you very, very easily. This has been unlike other previous events, when the event area has normally been either like blocked off so you can't really even teleport to it, or they've removed it completely in the case of the Classic, because in the case of the Roblox Hunt Mega Edition, because it was actually leaking stuff previous to the event being posted. But this effectively does mean that all the event enemy emotes from event enemy logbooks from the Ducky Revenge event are now exclusive because you can't get it. Now, in my previous videos, I've mentioned the fact that it doesn't seem like you're able to disable skills. That's wrong. You can actually disable your skills here. Now, I've had some people say that due to the fact that the bandages exist, you can't use that in Hidden Wave, so don't buy that. That's not how it works. You can't use any skill to activate the Hidden Wave whatsoever. This is because there are other benefits on the skill tree, such as, I don't know, improved enhanced optics, expanded barracks, reinforcements, all that stuff. Developers don't want that for the Hidden Wave. They want you to beat it pure, so no skills allowed. And this is for all teammates for the Hidden Wave, by the way, so every single person needs to disable skills, otherwise it will not activate. It's the same for consumables, except you can use consumables all the way up until wave 39. Now, given the fact that skills enabled is effectively buff to the entire game for you, you really want to disable this unless you're either going for the Hidden Wave or you're setting yourself up for a challenge, which I'm not entirely sure what the point is, given the fact that skills enabled does allow you to do some challenges, like probably Solo Polluted Wastelands 2, without, say, the use of glitches, or perhaps even without the use of the Swarmer. Solo Hardcore mode, definitely with this, a lot more easier as well. Also, as mentioned previously, the index, the achievements have been moved into the index to save up on clutter on the storefront UI. Furthermore, there used to be a background for this. I do remember like a clickbait thumbnail-ish with like a minigun attacking enemies that used to be behind this. It's no longer here. I don't know if that's a glitch or not. Next, there are a whole load of bug fixes in this update. However, we're going to test all of these out in a later video to see how accurate they are, given the fact that in previous updates, this list has been missing some stuff, but also some of the stuff on the list haven't actually been fixed. Next is more of a bug than anything, and I just want to talk about it. The enhanced optics, as you can see here, I have 5.5%. It turns out it's doubled, so actually my range is boosted by 11% for tower range, and for people with 20% it gets boosted by 40%. For some reason the developers have doubled it in the game. I don't know why. So it means that for now at least, the enhanced optics is probably the best skill to get, purely because it's nearly double everything else in the skill tree. At least on paper. I assume it's balanced around the fact that everything costs like 4 billion coins, and the fact that the enhanced optics gives you boosted range. I think that's pretty good. Right. Next are a couple of bug fixes that have been made to v1.65.0 because you'll notice, if you've noticed throughout the entire video, that in the little corner over here, the update says v1.65.3. Yes, there's been multiple shadow updates since the release of this update, which is unusual given the fact that the last update there have been 0 shadow updates. So firstly, there was an issue where Lighthouse didn't appear in the map selection in Tower Defense Simulator. Now, I went into Sandbox to try it out, but I forgot that Sandbox mode does not have the new maps that have been added to the game. However, the developers have re-added it in a shadow update, I believe v1.65.2. Next, there was an issue where restarting the health wouldn't include the 100 base health, which is weird. So, for example, right, if you have the Fortify skill, if you were to have it to say 100, no, not 100, that's a bad idea, 50, right? So when you restarted the game through revive or I believe restarting, it means that your base health would only go back up to 50. The 100 base health that is included in all game modes is not included, therefore meaning that if you have no Fortify upgrade, you instantly die. You can restart over and over again on wave 0, which is the first time that this has probably happened, publicly at least, and lose instantly. Now, before you thought, oh wait, that's a very good coins tactic if you're AFK or whatever. No, you don't get any rewards for dying on wave 0, and previously it actually broke your game. However, the developers have fixed a previous issue where if you die on wave 0, you got not a number coins, not a number EXP. Also, apparently there's an issue with the Ducky DJ booth quest where you're basically soft-locked because you can't really get the rewards for it. However, I do believe the developers have removed it from people's inventories. However, I think they've bodged up again, whereby it was a similar issue to the Core Blocks Hunt event where they removed it, but it's not technically removed, so you can't actually activate another mission quest. Effectively meaning that you are soft-locked from buying any more mission quests, which in this update where you need to get coins is a pretty bad idea, and hopefully the developers fix it as soon as possible. Now, additionally, the developers, they've taken everything that was on sale for the Memorial Day update off sale in the skill tree update. As you can see, the Pursuit is now 1,500, Biologist 850, and Admin Mode is back to 8,000 Robux now. Now, there was an issue with Admin Mode in the Memorial Day sale where gifting it wasn't actually on sale. I mean, I guess it was a bug back then, but now it's not a bug anymore given the fact that it's been fixed. The developers have also removed coins gifting, giving like for 552 Robux, as I previously saw, because for some reason they kept around the coins and the gems sale a bit longer than the other ones. I wonder if they have fixed... No, okay, so they have increased the prices of gifting for these items, because previously there's normally always been an issue with gifting the stuff after the sale ends when it doesn't actually increase it back up, so there's a decreased cost when gifting, but no, it seems like it's all been fixed. Again, annoyingly, they've made an update which requires a lot of coins right after a Memorial Day coin sale. Yeah. Something that has changed, which I don't see people talking about too often, is the new thumbnail for Tower Defense Simulator, and I can't lie, I don't like this. It is definitely going down the route of oversaturation, but also it's giving clickbait thumbnail vibes, and I don't like that. I mean, to be fair, it is the direction that the developers are going down, especially if you see like their recent thumbnails, like with this one, for example. Oversaturation, okay. But I think the developers went for this style in comparison to the previous style, which was entirely rendered, including the minigun, because of, I guess, accusations that they were using AI in their thumbnails. No, here, very clearly that this is probably made by an artist, at least. And I'm aware that developers have hired artists to make their thumbnails in the past. They have posted their work, so it's pretty easy if we can clarify that. I've had some people ask me, when are the developers going to re-add the plushie skins for purchases which involve plushies on the Paradoxum Games store? However, I don't really know that, and it's not like the developers know that either. It's based on Roblox and what they think because of their new virtual items when it comes to physical purchases. I believe the developers would have to probably convert their storefront over to Shopify, or at the very least they had to comply with Roblox rules, which we don't know how long that will go take. And if you ask me, it'll probably take quite a while. So the plushie skins that you see for some items in Tower Defense Simulator, yeah, they're probably going to be exclusive for quite a while, including the plushie scout as seen here. Alright, so that's bigger budget maxed out. Which one should I go for? Probably improved gunpowder. I do like the halo effect when something's maxed out. It gets a yellowish outline, and it looks like it gets boosted. Very cool indeed. Yes, those are all the other changes that have been made to this update, including a store UI complete overhaul. Very cool indeed.